Hey, it's Kaufman is alive. I look at comic books new and old. Today I'm looking at some new comics and some old comics. Visited my local comic shop. Definitely recommend hitting up your local comic shop if you have one. I do every single week, pick up new comic books. It's my favorite thing to do every week, along with making this video, just looking at everything I picked up. So thanks again for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't yet. Check out my channel. I've got over 700 videos and shorts on my channel. Go check them all out. Please comment, like the video while you're here as well. Might as well. Doesn't cost anything to subscribe. So today I picked up, like I said, some back issues. I picked up some dollar books, some quarter books, got some free comics, got the new free previews from Marvel and DC as well. Really looking forward to flipping through these. Probably make some videos on them. I have not looked through any of these comics or anything yet. So I'll kind of give you my thoughts on maybe why I picked up these books as we go along and just flip through some of the pages, see if there's any really cool things that stand out. First one I got here was this New Warriors number 11. How could you pass picking this up for free? Got Nova on the cover here with Thor, Captain America, Iron Man, the Avengers, and Wolverine. It says the most incredible warrior saga of all time. So, and it's in a really classic time period for me when I was growing up. This came out in '91. It says Forever Yesterday, part 1 of 3. Got the old school corner panel there, and we got Mark Bagley doing the artwork on the cover there. And it looks like he's doing the interiors as well. We got Fabian Nicieza doing the writing here. Days of Present Past, so kind of an X-Men callback here. Looks like we've got an alternate universe Avengers here. That's a pretty awesome looking Captain America. Storm as well on the team here. Some cool pencils by Mark Bagley. This has got to be pretty early in his career. We get a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles ad for the cereal. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cereal. Pizza-shaped marshmallows. That's hilarious. I'm going to kind of skip around a little bit, I think, here, because I did pick up this TMNT Journeys number 1 that just came out by IDW. This looked really awesome. I haven't been reading the current run of TMNT, but I am a huge fan of the artist, Juan Ferreira, and I'm going to go and pick up those trades. I think the first trade just came out. But this looked cool because we got Peter Laird, the one of the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle creators on here, with Jim Lawson as well, doing the pencils. And Peter Laird is doing the writing and the inks and the letters. And it's all in black and white. And as the title kind of tips off, it's telling an old turtle story as far as I can tell. So this just looked awesome. I don't know if this is an ongoing series or just a one-shot, but it's done in the classic Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle style from those original Mirage comic books. I believe it was Mirage who printed those. There's a great pin-up there. It says, "We're not aliens." So I'm guessing that's kind of the plot to this issue here. But I love this cover too. This kind of reminds me of that original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles video game for Nintendo. This style of cover, the kind of painted style. I just really like everything about the packaging of this comic. I think it actually came out last week, but I did not realize it. So when I saw it this week, I jumped to pick it up for sure. It says, dedicated to Kevin Eastman, without whom this trip would not have been possible. So that's TMNT Journeys number 1. It was $4.99. And again, it's by IDW Comics. Go check this one out if you're a fan of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And New Warriors number 11, we were flipping through that as well. This was pretty cool. I like these alternate universe costumes here. We got Cyclops here with the 70s porn mustache. I like Magneto's costume there. These are all kind of pretty cool costume redesigns. Classic G.I. Joe ad. I love the classic ads in all these books. They're almost as fun as reading some of these classic stories. Looks like the Sphinx is the main villain of this book here. That's a cool splash page of the alternate universe, alternate Marvel universe here, in these pages at least. So you can see Marvel always doing alternate timelines. They do them a lot these days, but it's nothing new. As we see here in the pages of New Warriors from 1991. Then I picked up some interesting books from the dollar bin here. I got this Awesome Adventures number 1. Alan Moore, Steve Skroce immediately sold me. And just this really beautiful cover here. With, I think Suprema is her name. She's the female Supreme. I love the like milkshake style lettering on here as well. Again, I have not flipped through this at all yet. Just the creative team and the fact that it's kind of a Youngblood spin-off. And I've just recently picked up the awesome Youngblood comics. And they were all drawn by Steve Skroce, who's just an unheralded artist, I feel like. If you've been following along my channel recently, I've been doing the Review the Age of Apocalypse, where I'm covering every single issue of the Review the Age of Apocalypse. And Steve Skroce created X-Man in that series, and he's the artist on there, so... Was that the Authority here crossing over with the Youngblood in this comic? So some cool pencils, and I really liked these issues from Awesome and Youngblood. There was only a few that were made, as far as I could tell. There was a Youngblood half issue that Alan Moore and Steve Skroce did as well. So we get a letter from Rob Liefeld here. It says, "Welcome to the first issue of Alan Moore's Awesome Adventures. This will feature some of Alan's finest work for awesome entertainment." I wonder if they even came out with an issue number 2. Well, what does it say? Issue number 2 will arrive in September. Should check it out and have an awesome summer. I'm going to have to look that up. Let me know in the comments if you know if that ever came out. Because I would be interested to try and find it. And this was after Liefeld. I think he went from Image, where he had Extreme Studios, and then started Maximum Press, and then Awesome. Or maybe it was the other way around. I can't quite remember. We get some sketch pages here from Dan Fraga. These are pretty cool. And War Child, yeah. So, but also speaking of Youngblood, I picked up issue number 6 from this Image Youngblood run. This came much later. I think this is in the mid-2000s here. Yeah, 2008 is when this came out. I've collected the first 4 issues of this series. This is also a pretty interesting run. They're doing some different stuff in this issue, especially with Bad Rock. Let me see who the artist is on this issue. We got Derek Donovan doing the artwork and Joe Casey on the story here. But this was a run that went for, I think, like 20 or so issues at least, if I'm not mistaken. But the artwork not blowing me away here, but I did like the story in the first 4 issues that I've read anyway. I'm going to have to go and review those for sure. But I got this for $1, so continuing picking up all these from that Youngblood run there. Then I picked up, just keep going with some of these Image comics here. I picked these up all for $0.25. These 4 comics here. Actually was able to peel off the stickers on all of these successfully without ripping any of the covers or anything like that. So that was awesome. But we got Supreme Glory Days. This is another Rob Liefeld joint here. And I think I've seen these floating around, the Glory Days, but I don't know if I've ever really seen this cover before. This is a pretty nice looking cover. And that's what drew me in. And also there's all this really cool Nazi imagery in here with like Hitler dead on a chair and Supreme just smashing Nazis everywhere. So this looked really awesome. And we got David Williams doing the artwork. He's on the cover as well, with Liefeld doing the story. Really nice cover though. And some good artwork in here. Reminds me of like some Adam Hughes style stuff. So I like it. I did flip through this one a little bit. Truth be told, this was kind of the only one I kind of flipped through before I started the video here. But this looks pretty cool. Not a huge fan of Supreme or anything, but he did just show up in the brand new Youngblood #1 reboot that Liefeld just came out with that you can pick up on his website. And I think that's about to be released in stores. So spoiler alert, a little late, sorry about that. But yeah, Supreme's a cool character though. It's kind of the Image universe's Superman. But I like him. Alan Moore did a lot of really interesting stuff with that character. And then I got this Blade #1. I picked this up because I don't know that Blade really had an ongoing series much before this. This issue came out in '97, and I was just trying to think about any sort of ongoing runs Blade had had before this. Let me know in the comments if you know. But I know when the movie Blade came out, he was kind of an obscure character, never really had his own title. And this comic's coming out right around that same time. I don't know the history of this comic. I'm going to look into it, which is kind of why I bought it. It looked pretty interesting with we got Christopher Golden writing and Gene Colan doing the pencils here, with Mark Pennington doing the inks. But like I was saying, this has got to be one of the first kind of solo Blade comics or miniseries that Marvel ever put out, because I don't think they were putting out any Blade series before that movie. But again, let me know if you know. Then I got Ash #1 and 3. Now this is kind of cool. Jimmy Palmiotti, and I believe it's Joe Quesada, was the creative team on this book. And I remember growing up hearing about Ash all the time in like Wizard magazine. You'd see ads for it. But I don't ever remember ever seeing this like on the shelf or anything. But I found these both for $0.25 today, so that was cool. They both have these wraparound covers, which are awesome. The computer graphic logo doesn't really fit in too well, but I do kind of like what they're trying to do with the logo there, making it stand out, but a little bit hard to read. Event Comics, not really anything that really caught on, but they were trying to do their own thing here, so you got to respect that. I've never flipped through these before. Again, this is kind of exciting because it's like I've been hearing about Ash for 30 years and I've never actually picked up an issue, so that's pretty cool. Got this totally 90s like style lettering and font here. Kind of hard to read. It says Ash is dedicated to firefighters everywhere who put their lives on the line for us every day. We rely on them to protect our families and our property, yet they are often too taken for granted, unrecognized, and unappreciated. These real-life heroes have no superpowers to protect them, and the creators of Ash salute their dedication, skill, and courage. Well, that's a cool sentiment. Nice reason for the comic. And not too many firefighter superheroes, so... And it's not too far a leap. You have lots of police officer superheroes and space adventurers, things like that. Get a Barry Windsor Smith pinup here. That's pretty nice. Strange Hands and Brawn. I'm sorry. Strange Hands and Brawn. And we get a little letter from Barry Windsor Smith as well talking about this book. So there's the big double splash page of Ash. I always liked his big gauntlets on his hand, or whatever you want to call those, wristbands or whatever they are. It's a cool design. I don't know about the rest of his look necessarily. He's kind of got a mullet going on there, but picked up Ash #1, and again, I picked up issue #3 here, so I'll have to go find issue #2. More of the same with the font there. They got the firefighter logo. He's got a motorcycle. Of course he does. Oh, kitty cats. So let me know in the comments, you ever read Ash? Oh, this is awesome. This pinup is really cool. Who is this? This is Jeffrey Darrow doing this. Wow, that is awesome. That's worth the 25 cents alone that I paid. Absolutely. So some cool finds from the quarter bins, definitely. Then let's move on to the new comics I picked up. Actually, one of these came out last week, or maybe a few weeks ago, come to think of it. The all-new Venom #9. But let's take a look at this first. Got the Adam Kubert cover here with all the symbiotes. Looks like they're battling Doc Ock and the Jury. I've been in and out on this series. Picked up the first couple issues. And a couple others here and there, I think, for maybe some covers, if I remember correctly. And the one reveal of Mary Jane as the host of Venom. But I wanted to pick this one up. I almost forgot, and this was the last copy they had on the shelf, so I'm glad I did. But this is the issue where Mary Jane finally dumps Paul. And it's been a long time coming for Spider-Man fans. I'm definitely on the side of anti-Paul. I love to see this happening, so wanted to check this issue out and see what it's all about here. I think I'll just kind of flip to the end. Looks like there's some good action in this comic book, but here we get the final dumping of Paul by Mary Jane here. So This looks great. I'm gonna review this. Maybe it's about a month too late, but she says, "I'm sorry, Paul, I'm breaking up with you." Hopefully he doesn't try and convince her otherwise, and we're really done with Paul. So all new Venom number 9. This is $4.99 when he came out. Then I picked up The Scorched number 44. This is from Image Comics. If you've been following along on my channel, you know I'm a big fan of The Scorched. It's the Spawn spin-off book, where it's the team book led by She-Spawn. There's She-Spawn here. We got Redeemer and the Reaper as well. These two characters both learn that they're actually the same character, just one's from the past and one's from the future. It looks like we'll be getting some more of that in this issue as well. Steven Segovia is on artwork. We got John Layman doing the writing with Todd McFarlane. It says doing some additional scripts, the creator from Spawn. I like this cover though, with Redeemer here. Redeemer's always one of my favorite character designs from the Spawn universe. Just an awesome character. This was a $3.99 book. Scorched number 44. Definitely recommend picking up The Scorched. Then we got Ultimate Spider-Man number 20. I picked up this variant cover. Here's the main cover. I love picking up the variants on the Ultimate books because you get the main cover on the interiors. So I always try and pick up a variant. And let me see who the variant cover artist is here, because I don't even know. Dan Panosian. I don't think that's, this has got to be Annie Wu. So I don't think this is Dan Panosian. But kind of similar to this cover as well, where we've got the 3 alter egos of these characters, Peter, Gwen, and Harry. And we're kind of let in on that in this issue as well. Mary Jane, I guess she just hasn't become Venom yet in this universe. Everyone else is a superhero except for Mary Jane, which I think is kind of funny, where you're over in the other Marvel universe, you got Mary Jane as Venom. So very hunky looking Peter, and Harry not too shabby himself, and he's rich, so that helps. But is this the David Messina doing this, or is this Phil Noto? Yeah, it's David Messina. Here we go. You can kind of tell because I feel like all the David Messina issues is a lot of talking and dialogue, and obviously right off the bat that's what you get here. We get a nice Jim Shooter memorial here to him from Marvel Comics. Of course, the notorious editor who ushered in some pretty famous Marvel series like Secret Wars, of course, and some infamous ones like the New Universe, which never quite worked out. I guess we did get Star Brand out of it, but yeah, lots of talking in these issues. These aren't always the best, but lots of character building. Not a lot of Spider-Man. I feel like in the David Messina issues either. We might get like 1 or 2 panels of actual superhero action. But if that doesn't bother you, you still get the Jonathan Hickman story here. And I want to make a correction of something I was talking about recently, about how kind of Marvel, I felt like the main Marvel universe, I was saying they have lots of, all the characters are segmented, and they don't feel like they kind of like really cross over or exist in the same universe, while it feels like in the Ultimate universe they really do. But I was thinking about it, and honestly, in the main Marvel universe, there's plenty of crossover. I mean, not obviously there's the One World Under Doom crossover that's happening now. That connects everybody, and it's been going on for over a year, kind of mirroring the original Secret Wars. And then we've got the Imperial Universe, which is Jonathan Hickman's take on all the galactic and cosmic portions of the Marvel Universe, which have been neglected for a long time. For some reason, I don't understand why, because Thanos is one of the most popular Marvel characters. but they really kind of ignore all the cosmic elements of the Marvel Universe. So I'm glad to see that corner of the Marvel Universe making a return. And you've got the Marvel Knights as well, which has been brought back by Jimmy Palmiotti and Joe Quesada, I believe, as well on that, if I'm not mistaken. If I got those names wrong, I apologize. And also the return to the Age of Apocalypse, the Age of Revelation with X-Men. You've got Avengers is actually listed as an X-Men title in the X checklist. And for some reason, I think it's because Jed McKay just writes both the titles, but you got Fantastic Four. They show up in Spider-Man all the time and Avengers. So, you know, I think it's pretty healthy. And it reminds me a lot of the Marvel Universe that I grew up reading, to be honest with you. It's not too different. I got this X-Men issue number 21. We got Nitho Diaz doing the artwork. I think this is his first cover on this title. Ryan Stegman's done all the other A covers, so congratulations to him. He really deserves it. He's the interior penciler as well on this issue, and he's one of my favorite pencilers at Marvel here. Definitely go check out this run on X-Men, I think, for Stegman and Nitho Diaz's artwork. We got the Sugar Man showing up here, which is some good timing with the Age of Apocalypse stuff. And I just covered Generation Next, issues 1 and 2 on my channel. I highly recommend that video. It's one of my favorite videos I've ever done, just looking back at the first 2 issues of Generation Next from the Age of Apocalypse. It was just so much fun. Those are 2 of my favorite. That's just one of my favorite series. And it's pretty dark, but the artwork and the story, it's some really fun stuff. I love those characters. And, you know, I was there when all those characters first showed up during the Flanks Covenant, and then they got their own series, Generation X, and then we had Generation Next. It was just really fun following all those characters from the offset of their creation. So definitely recommend checking out that video and go pick up Generation Next or Generation X, those early issues, if you haven't ever read those with Chris Botchula doing the artwork. Just some awesome stuff. And we got Nitho Diaz doing the artwork here. Trevor Fitzroy also showing up. I think O-Force, I think I saw them as well on the cover here. So, but I'm wondering how all this X-Men stuff is going to tie into the Age of Revelation or the Age of Apocalypse. Maybe this appearance of Sugar Man is going to clue us in on something. Again, I have not read this yet, so we'll have to see. Here's the final page. Spoiler alert, if you don't want to be spoiled. But that's about all I got today. I want to thank you guys for watching. I do post daily comic book reviews. At least I try to be here daily. I've been pretty busy lately. You might have noticed this past week only posted a few new videos, so I'll be around though. Again, I do have hundreds of videos on my channel, and I guarantee you haven't watched them all. So go check those out if you haven't yet. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Go read comics.